And a quick film on breakfast. I'm calling this breakfast 102, second in line after the cereal that I have most of the days of the week. I'm going to have some bacon and eggs. You're going to see the start of this in a few minutes. But a little background here too. Chapter 5 in my book, The God Food Diet, is entirely based on this book. In fact, I talked with one of the authors by email, Sally Fallon. She said, sure, as long as you put everything in quotation marks, she'd like to see it. So she's still with us. She's with the Weston A. Price Foundation. I suggest that you look up that site, and more importantly, read Chapter 5 of my book, the condensed version of Eat Fat, Lose Fat. The co-author is Dr. Mary Enig, and she is no longer with us, but she was and is a profound, well-known PhD doctor on fats, a lipid doctor. So this is the science behind a lot of what I'll be talking about in the book, and I suggest that you also read this book itself. Very much for coconut oil as the premier source of oil, both for cooking. I only cook with coconut oil, and it's the premier type. I get it from Tropical Traditions. You can get small containers at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and other places. So also in the book, the advantages of cod liver oil and other things we talk about as far as supplements. As far as the bacon and eggs, the toast, this is rye bread. I've mentioned how much I love that as far as my favorite bread, but Dave's Killer Bread is probably second. Anything other than the white crap that you can get in most stores that people are still eating. So the eggs, this is the best that Whole Foods has. I suggest you get it from the farm, these eggs, when you can. And the three-way egg test, I've mentioned this before. But the first test, as I heat this up, raw butter, is you really have to crack this really hard shell. That's test number 1. The second test for a good healthy egg, pastured egg, is the color. The closer to pure orange that this is, the healthier it is for you. And obviously, the third thing is taste. So taste will come in a minute here. But before we go and let this cook a little bit, lots of salt and pepper, condiments such as these, organic of course, are fine for you. There's nothing actually that's restricted on the God Food Diet as long as you're following the STP formula. Sourcing, taste, and preparation. And before I come back to my bacon and eggs that I'm getting ready to devour, get a shot here of Sunday's breakfast. My tradition for Sunday is always these waffles from, which are organic, of course, and the organic maple syrup, very healthy, sweet, delicious, but it's like splurging on a Sunday for the carbohydrates. Same with this type of breakfast, as far as minimal carbs, as far as the rye bread. But if you can get a close-up here, this is the finished product. I've got my overnight egg, and I'm going to just show you the color of it here in a second. My rye toast, bacon and sausage, and it's pastured, of course. So this is what we're looking for, the bright orange right here. And I like to douse it with a good amount of salt and pepper. It was a delicious breakfast, and take the toothpick out of my mouth. That's part of the enjoyment afterwards, a little bit of my special brew coffee. A little bit more about the eggs, if you would please. These are $7.99, almost $8 at Whole Foods. This is the elite eggs on the planet. And by the way, Dr. Atkins of the famous Atkins diet called the egg yolk the most nutritious thing in nature. And these good authors agree with him, as well as other things that we've talked about as far as the oil. Pricing. Okay, back to the pricing. $8. You can get these white eggs that are flimsy, not nutritious, they're factory farmed. You can get them for $2 or $3 in a sad standard American diet grocery store, but that's not what you want to be healthy, and especially to sustain what I believe in as far as my book, The God Food Diet. And this is the prototype cover while we're waiting for it to be published. I'd invite you to go to thegodfooddiet.com, and you'll see basically some suggestions as far as not just the book itself, but we're going to have book reviews and many other things. So I went from the loser, the big time loser, to the big time winner Price-wise, again, I want to reiterate this point. I'll be age 70 next year, and I have taken no medications, no prescribed medications on a regular basis ever. It's supposed to be 1 in 1,000 people that can say that. So I do spend my money for good, high-quality, elite food. I make the suggestion, and I spend a lot less money than the average American does on pricey prescriptions and health care, and they're not very happy about the results. So, give the book a test. So anyway, go to thegodfooddiet.com. It's under construction while we're waiting for the publishing of the book, and we would welcome any and all suggestions that you might have as far as the website development itself. This is Miami Mike, over and out. See you on Sunday.